Now, and I was just sitting here thinking to myself, we ain't taking to Jersey in a minute, so tonight, we taking a ride down Jersey. Now, the Jersey in the building, shout your hood out in the comments. Now, we're not glorifying anything tonight. This is just a history lesson. Now, the Pretlow family been active since the 1960s, fighting shootouts, just chasing wreck all over Jersey. With the large number bloodline, the third generation would take advantage of the family name and hit the drug scene. Now, the Pretlow family tradition was not selling drugs. See, those rules were enforced to keep the family in line. But what you going to tell someone that came from a broken home? Now, what you know about the E'Port Posse? The name came from the majority of the members resided in the Elizabeth Port section of Elizabeth, New Jersey. Now, Bilal, aka Easy, and his brother, Robert, aka Wakil, would start an organization consisted of 2 drug distribution teams. The group was divided into 2 groups, with Bilal running phase 2. Now, Bilal run started in 1987 in junior high school. He started off selling tree, getting it from the Jamaicans, and was doing so well. He and his friends was able to buy, clothes, jewelry, cars, have the pretty women. And he was a pretty fair guy also. He knew how to fight. See, a lot of people were scared of Bilal before the gunplay, because he had put them hands on you. But yeah, he was selling lots of tree and blew up in a month. With connections in New York, he decided to step his game up to coke. But he knew it was serious business, and he didn't have any intentions on disappointing the connect. He was getting his work from the Dominicans in New York. The work was being transported in taxi cabs. Now, the trafficking network included Elizabeth, Newark, Linden, and Rahway. In March 1998, working with the Union County Narcotics Strike Force and the state police, the Elizabeth Police Detective Division began making a series of undercover narcotic buys from street-level dealers near the Pioneer Homes housing project in Elizabeth. The investigation dubbed Operation Pioneer. Now, November 9th, 1988, at 6 a.m., the Pioneer Homes and Loomis Street addresses in Elizabeth were raided with over 30 arrests, including Bilal Pretlow. Items seized from 2 locations included an Audi sports car, a Suzuki, a Jeep, Nissan Pathfinder, $67,000 worth of cocaine, and $31,000 in cash, a loaded .22, and a loaded double-barrel shotgun. Now, one of the members decided to become an informant. Now, I don't think it's necessary to say his name on this public channel, but with his help, phones were tapped, warrants were issued, and more houses were raided. November 25th, 1988, 6 teens, including Bilal, was arrested. Bilal moved this operation to Linden to avoid the heat in Elizabeth. The police seized $133,000 worth of coke and $72,000 in cash. Now, Bilal was charged with being a leader of a drug trafficking network, maintaining and operating a drug manufacturing faculty, possession more than 5 ounces of cocaine with the intent to distribute, employee juveniles in a drug distribution scheme, and cocaine distribution within 1,000 feet of a school. He was told if convicted, he could be facing life in prison. Now, he will make the $250,000 bill, and 5 days later, Bilal and his brother would be involved in another raid. Man, the law was not playing around this time. It was, the war on drugs and shit. Now, the 2 received more drugs and gun charges. Now, Bilal was in the county with his feet up. He knew he had to run his operation from jail, so he made sure he had the phones on lock. Now, he would do this by having guys bailed out. He buying sneakers from everyone on his tier and promising jobs. Guys would give him their phone time. Now, you have, records show that some of his phone calls would last up to 3 to 4 hours. Now, he was known for spoiling his men, taking them, on shopping sprees every month, buying his men cars, giving money to kids on the street, the whole 9. It's been alleged that he once bought 5 cars in 1 week, and he had no license. Now, one day you could spot him pushing a canary yellow Caddy Eldorado with the yellow matching interior with the chrome piping, the Peugeot 505 with the tan leather interior, candy apple Benz, the Jeep with the bikini doors, soft top with the crazy sound system, banging party music with his name in it. Yeah, that was during the time where they used to make the custom tapes, and they used to pay the DJs to say their names. Now, it's been alleged that Bilal and his brother Robert was able to get furloughed while in the county. Now, furlough was just like a temporary release, like when inmates will go to work, but I don't know how these guys would get that. But these guys would receive, the paperwork. They would have paperwork sent to them about the informant. Now, while on temporary release, they would pay him a visit. Now, I'm not going to get too deep into it, but let's just say a hammer, machete, and an electric saw was involved. Now, I'm going to cover that on my Upper Echelon channel. So for all my Upper Echelon members, I'll cover all the bodies that's tied to the organization. And it's way darker than you expected when I cover the stories. You'll look at these men different. So if you're not an Upper Echelon member, join now. It's worth it. Now, Bilal will end up making bail. And thanks to the help of his guy, Sean Hartwell, he was able to get the bail down to $500,000, and he will pull some strings to get it done. Now, Robert will make the $250,000 bail. Now, they will get out, and Bilal will call a meeting with drug dealers from all over Elizabeth to let them know he didn't want their territory or nothing, but they're going to take his product and get with his program. And if anyone wanted to dispute that, he's killing them on the spot, no questions asked. Now, the problem with that is he's tried to get the older fellas that been in the game longer than him to get with the program, telling them that they can only sell heroin. And I'm pretty sure they looked at him like he was crazy. But there was a kingpin named Bobby Ray Davis that was fresh home. He was doing this thing, and he was in the field way before Bilal. Now, Davis was the alleged heroin king. He was one of the few that came to the agreement with Bilal to only move heroin. But shortly after the agreement, members of the E'Port Posse came across some of Davis' men hustling coke in the Pioneer Projects. Now, July 9th, 1989, Bilal, Sean, and others jumped one of Davis' men that was spotted dealing coke. Now, later that day, almost around 11 p.m., Davis and a few of his men spotted Robert, and he was gunned down. Now, Robert ended up dying in Sean's arms. Now, that same night, Sean, Bilal, and Irvin was riding around heavy looking for ops, but the cops got to them and charged them for gun possession. Now, the cops thought Sean was responsible for Robert's death because he had blood all over him. Now, that very next day, one of the brothers named Thomas Pretlow gunned down Bobby Ray Davis after spotting him getting out of his car in front of his home. Now, and I want to make sure you guys follow me on this because this is going to be a lot. Wait till y'all hear this. Now, we're going to start with July 26, 1989. Bilal Easy Pretlow pleaded guilty to 3 narcotics charges in exchange for the dismissal for the 17 other charges. Now, he was able to get the most serious charge dismissed of being a leader of a narcotics network. Now, he copped out to 20 years with the eligibility for parole after 7.5 years. Now, shortly after, he will be charged with running the organization while incarcerated after his phone calls were tapped. Now, not only that, but they were linking murders to the organization. July 27, 1989, they returned an indictment charging Bilal and several others with over 35 counts of drug trafficking. January 25, 1991, they handed down another indictment, which was a superseding indictment, including Bilal and several other members with over 35 counts of drug trafficking, violent crimes, and racketeering. Now, if I was his lawyer, I would have just quit at this point. Now, Bilal's criminal enterprise charge carried the death penalty. They wanted to put the E'Port Posse chapter to rest. Now, it became the first death penalty case to be tried in New Jersey and second in the nation under the new death penalty law for those convicted for drug-related murders. Now, Bilal's cell was under 24-hour surveillance, but still managed to be found hanging from his cell. Now, it was reported as suicide, and it was weird to his family and loved ones because it was unlike him to do such a thing. Now, at the age of 21, his run was short, and at the height of his run, he spent a good amount of time in jail. Now, the streets can take you out very fast. We have kids that throw their lives away just to be up for a summer or two. Now, we ain't really get to see how far he could have took it, but that's it for tonight. So I hope you guys like the content. Like, comment, subscribe, show some love. Thanks for watching. I'm out.